For deleted, the first step is to calculate a POW. Here it's a 4-character string plus a specified suffix, and the requirement is that its SHA-256 hash equals a target value. You can simply write a script to compute this. Then we move on to the first question, which asks for the computer's username. Obviously, this involves checking what user directories exist under the user directory in the root. Here, I mounted the extracted files and found a user named Jack. The next question asks for the device name. Normally, if it hasn't been modified, there are two possibilities, right? If it's a desktop, it's desktop. If it's a laptop, it might be laptop. Let's first try if desktop can be directly searched. Okay, so we found the target value, submitted it, and it succeeded. The third question asks for a shutdown time. Here I use the registry to check the recorded last shutdown time. And that's in the C drive directory HMM. The Swisstem registry hive. It shows there's dirty data and we need to load some transaction logs. Let's load the logs. And this thing is in our control set 001 control, then Windows. Then there's a key named shutdown time. However, this value isn't in a standard time format and differs from our expectation, so we need to perform a simple conversion. Here we can use CyberChef to perform this conversion. It's actually just a hexadecimal value. Then we convert it into a Unix timestamp, and then we convert that timestamp. I got a result which is a UTC time. Let's look at the target again. The goal is to format it in this specific way, and it should be in UTC plus 8 time. Let's write it out first. 2025 December 9吨 H. Since we need to convert to UTC plus 8, we simply add 8 hours here. Okay, let's calculate the MD5 hash. That's correct, the fourth question. The fourth question asks for a code phrase the suspect planned to use, and it needs to be submitted in a specific format. Here we will re-examine what's in the forensic image, or rather we care about what software they used. There are two approaches. One is to look at its desktop directory or download directory or documents or directories like app data. To look, or another way is to look at, for example, prefetch files which show recently run programs by examining the desktop on this workstation. We notice two pieces of software, Cherry Studio and UTools. UTools is a toolbox that can install plugins possibly containing data like memos. Cherry Studio is an AI tool which might have conversations that could leak sensitive information. So here, let's first look at Cherry Studio. For Cherry Studio, there's a rather clever method for convenience here. We placed it under here. We can directly migrate the target's database file and open it because it uses a machine-independent storage method. Looking at it this way at first glance, there's nothing because the suspect has deleted all this as described in the problem. But actually, deletion here doesn't mean deletion from the database. We can press Ctrl-Shift-I to open the database's developer tools, then browse the data in the application tab under indexed DB, among them in message blocks, which holds chat messages. We notice many stored keys. There's content timestamp and its ID good. Well, browse through them one by one. Here's something about a URL-based key generation algorithm. We notice it says generate a key. This one is similar to the previous. This corresponds to the previous two entries correspond to generating a key here. Here's another enhanced version of the URL-based key generation algorithm, and it emphasizes that it can be implemented in CyberChef. But this isn't what we want either. Then this one corresponds to the first entry, a URL. Then here suddenly it mentions code phrase saying the previous code phrase about the matrix. Then it says fully understood. These two actually correspond to each other. We need to extract their conversation in the specified format. For this operation, we can copy it out first. Okay, let's correct. Next, it asks us what instant messaging software was used. For this part, there's a rather brute force method, which is to check what software has been run on this computer HMM. Here we actually didn't find much in the prefetch files. Maybe the target cleaned up some traces. But here we can still find some traces through the software registry hive. Let's look through them one by one. And then here, this is actually a scan log. Right in this scan log, we noticed that Discord was run. Let's try submitting that. Okay, found it's correct. Then the sixth question asks for a software password. Earlier, we noticed that in the database they had discussed a URL-based password generation algorithm and it required implementation in CyberChef. Good, let's go. Let's find and look at that conversation again. Okay, the enhanced version. That should be relative to the latter one. Note here, they actually used a key derivation algorithm, but once this appears, it means the value generated each time might not be the same. That is, there are some issues. This algorithm has problems. Here, we can take a look. Here, even if we submit according to this, it's not correct. This makes us think actually it's using a local. It also accesses a corresponding URI. Then we try to brute force search for such strings to see if there's hope of finding the URL. Let it run. And then among these URLs, there's a characteristic which is having a parameter like recipe. After it finishes traversing, we then look for URLs that have this recipe parameter. The search scope might still be a bit too large. We can narrow it down. Here we noticed something. There's a value we want good. Let's look for some better links. This one isn't ideal, but it's usable. Oh, I see. Here, this is a complete one. A relatively complete access link. Let's visit it directly. Then input the Discord domain name into it. That is, there should exist one with this. Okay, there wasn't a complete one with the input parameter. We can just generate it this way. Okay, found it's correct. Then a master key. Although a generated value is given here, submitting it directly would be incorrect. This question is actually Related to utools, let's look at the database structure of utools. Here, there are directories that seem related to storing data or cache, such as storage cache, clipboard, data database, local storage. For this question, the answer is actually in the database. We can see this is an LDB file, which actually means level DB. For this, we can use a level DB tool to parse it. Here it says, what is the master key? It's this value. Okay, so we've completed this problem. The entire solving process for the whole challenge is as above. Thank you, everyone.